You can join it from the joinpd.com and then you can just write it this 6 code. You'll directly join the session. Okay. So I guess everybody would be knowing about this. So you can just type in your Google Chrome or phone or whatever you're using that joinpd.com and then you can join. So you can see the screen, right? My screen is visible to you, correct?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So 3 people have joined. So okay, so we have 22 people. So everybody try to join this and then so yeah. So can we start now or shall I wait for more student to join?
Start, sir.
Okay. So, you got your quiz score marks of second quiz or not?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
No, sir.
No or yes? I guess you got that.
Yes, sir,
Once
it's displayed on the dashboard.
okay.
Sir, for me, it's not displayed yet.
Okay, so maybe by today, well, I guess if the result has came for some people, it would have came for all the people. Yesterday we signed off and we saw the graph distribution of your marks and it was not that good as compared to quiz one, but yeah. So for the final quiz also, we'll start preparing like when is that final quiz? 7th September or when?
Third September.
3rd September, sir.
Okay, that is on 3rd
Sir,
of September.
what to do best in city, sir?
What to?
What to do best in city?
Okay, so see for the final quiz, most of the portions will be from the like at least half of the portion will be from the last 4 5 week. Okay, so that has not been asked in your quiz one and two. So you can focus more there. And then earlier from week 1 to 8, mostly list and dictionary has been discussed. So you can just focus. So what you can do is just try to solve the previous term paper. Okay, previous term paper will help you a lot to get an idea about the paper. Also solve the graded assignment at least before writing the exam. Solve all the graded assignment once and the previous paper, at least 2 3 previous paper, 2 3 interim paper of maybe for the last like January batch and then the previous 22 batch September term. So at least 2 paper solve that, and I guess that will help you a lot to solve.
Where do we get, sir?
I guess most of your colleague would be having, but if you don't have, you can just mail me. Maybe I'll forward it, or you
Okay.
can
Sir, for
just
which
ask
exam
for
are
the
you
disclosure.
talking?
For
For which exam are you talking?
yeah, CT, any exam for the foundation course. I'm telling maths also. So maths also I'm taking some sessions. So maths and CT I'm saying to solve the previous some paper and the graded assignment at least once from here onwards. Like at least for the all
Sir,
the
what
week.
is your mail ID?
You can just write me at vishal@study.iitm.ac.in,
Okay,
or
sir.
ask on the discourse. Okay, there also somebody, if somebody will be
We
having.
don't have the ID for IIT Madras.
Okay, why?
Sir, they did not give us the email ID, sir.
Okay, you don't got in there. Okay, so okay, so out of 36 people, only 13 are joined. So you can just join it from joinpd.com, and then you can just write it this 6 code and you'll be able to join. So if you want to, you can join, you can just solve the problems. So I'll just start with the first problem, and it's like very simple problems are there. And this type of problem only will be asked in your paper also. So don't get afraid
Uh,
just by reading the
so,
questions. Okay, this is very big and all. Try to
so
read it.
will the exam paper, will end term exam paper same as the quiz 1 and 2, like 16 questions and 50 marks and all that?
What? Can you repeat that?
So the exam on 3rd September will be same as the quiz 1 and 2, right? Just the syllabus from week 1 to 12.
Yeah, it will be from week 1 to 12, but the weightage will be higher for the last 3-4 weeks. That has not been asked in your quiz 1 and 2. Okay, but there will be questions from week 1 to 8 also. Some questions will be there, but the weightage will be that weightage part. I'll let you know in the upcoming session. But now I can say you that the weightage will be good for the last 4-5 weeks, like 3 weeks that has not that hasn't asked in quiz 1 and 2. Okay, but the
Yes.
whole syllabus week 1 to 12 will be asked. So what I told you, you can just start solving the graded assignment from previous, like 8th week, 7th week, or from maybe from the first week itself, and then the
Sir, I have a
previous week
doubt.
paper.
Should
Yeah.
we focus more on week 9 to 12 or all the 20?
No. This is what I told you. The weightage will be good for the last week, like last 3-4 weeks. Okay. So you should be focusing more on the last 3-4 weeks. Even from now itself, if you're like for week 9, just try to solve all the questions by yourself. Don't copy it from anywhere else. Like it is not going to help you anyway in the final exam. Even if you have submitted right now, if you haven't solved from your side, just try to solve it now also, at least week 9, 10, 11. Okay, and then the previous graded assignment at least solve from your end once. That will help you a lot in the paper. Most of the questions you'll see that the concepts almost sometimes the same questions sometimes comes in the grade, like in the final exam.
Sir,
Okay,
any books available for CT?
it's not like this. See, this course is not that what you can say is like this is going to help you in some or other way in Python or maybe some coding. It's just how do you think, how like here you just have been taught about the list and dictionary, that's it. So I don't think, no, I'm not aware of any book of computational thinking, but there's one book that is from like Professor Madhavan Mukund itself, but I haven't read that book, so I can't comment on that. But yeah, if you just go through the
Sir, it
tutorial.
has the same content as lectures.
Okay. Okay. So I haven't went through that. So, but what I can feel is, I can tell you is like if you are just going through the tutorials and the videos. Okay. So videos, if you have seen once, go through the tutorial if you haven't seen, and whatever the PDF you have been given, like solve with us PDF you have been given, or the what you can say the graded assignment, practice assignment. If you are solving, that is
Yes.
more than enough.
Where
There's
is
no
where
point
is
of
the
going anywhere else.
sir? Where is solve with us PDF?
It's there on the portal. Maybe in the supplementary content, you can check that. Okay.
Okay. Has anyone
In the
asked any?
lecture, professors are doing the practical work, but in the questions are the theoretical.
Yeah. So that's why I told you to go through the tutorial once. Have you seen the tutorial videos? So that tutorial videos will help you a lot to solve the question. So in those tutorial videos, mostly the concept whatever has been taught is briefly been discussed in the tutorial. Maybe some questions have been solved there. Okay. So that will help you a lot. If you have seen the lectures, okay, the practical, like whatever the lecture has been recorded, if you have seen once, if you haven't seen the tutorial, just go through that tutorial. That will help you a lot if you're not able to understand or not able to solve the problems. Okay. Or if you're having any doubt, you can just post on the discourse or mail me anywhere. So you have so many options. TAs are there that they can help you. You can mail me any doubts that you have anytime. Okay. Or
Because
mail
of live
discourse.
live class, I understand the city too much.
Okay. Yeah.
Sir, will you revise week 9 now or will you directly go with questions?
Yeah. I'll be solving the questions only because tomorrow you have the deadline, right? So that's why if the deadline would have extended, because earlier the deadline was Monday or Tuesday itself, but we extended to tomorrow. So we'll be just solving the problems today. Okay, maybe we can have some session, but not now. Maybe after, because week 10 deadline was also, I guess, next Friday, I guess. So
And next
after,
Wednesday.
okay, yeah, next Wednesday itself.
I
So we
am
have to
also,
complete.
excuse me, sir, one doubt. So I am also doing BTech from a college, sir, but these and the live class are not, mm, I'm not able to manage them. So, sir, can you give advice on how to manage both of them?
So I already told you, go through the, if you don't have much time, at least solve the graded assignment. Don't copy it, solve the
Like,
graded assignment at least.
sir, I have time on the weekends. I have the all days on weekends, but at weekdays, I don't have much time because like I come to home at 5 p.m. and then there's live classes that from 6 to 10. So I find it difficult.
Yeah. So that's the issue. Yeah, that I got it. Like many people have that issue that they are working or they are having the other courses also. See, but you have to, if you have to complete this course, you have to put in some extra effort from your side, right? So weekend is fine, but if you are just taking out some 2 hours also per day, so that I guess will help you a lot. Okay. So if see, you can just, if you haven't done till now much work, so this is what I can suggest you. Go through the tutorial nicely. Tutorial won't take much time. All the tutorials are like 10 to 15 minutes of videos. Okay. And there are not much tutorials also. Per week we'll be having 2, 3 tutorials. Okay. That won't take much time. If you have seen the lectures, just go through that and solve with us and then graded assignment. That is more than sufficient that you'll be scoring very nice in CT for sure. For maths and stats, okay, you need some more what you can say practice, but city I can say that if you are just practicing graded, it will be good enough to score very nice marks in city.
In
Okay.
this term, I am only doing CT, maths, and English because it will be very
So,
difficult to do stats also.
okay, so that is fine. City, uh, that won't take much time, but stats can take time from like week end week or like from where the permutation and PNC is started. That may take time, but starting weeks are not that difficult in stats also. In between, some weeks are they're difficult that you can manage, and then in the end also there's not much difficult concepts you talk. So and city also, so it's manageable. So it won't take. It's not that hard that you can't manage this.
Some move to the questions.
Okay, so let's start the today's session. And so we have 26 students who have joined out of 45. So, so problem first. So you have been given a data set. Okay. So can you see this data set?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So in this data set, you have some, how many? Six. You have been given a data set of 6 students. Okay. So this is totally different data set from your whatever has been taught in the lectures. So this is a smaller set of data set we have been given. And in this data set, you can see that the some sequence number is there. You can imagine this as a card and where the sequence number is given, the name is given, the gender is given, date of birth, and the city from where this guy or the girl belongs is written there. Okay, so this basic table. your problem starts from here. So the first problem is, so it's all based on this table itself. Because just to simplify your problem, we have given this smaller table. Yeah. So the problem, so you have been given the pseudocode for this problem. So the problem, I'll just read it. I'll explain you nicely, and then you have to do that. So the problem is, consider a graph generated from the table 1. Okay. And how did that graph has been generated? It has been written here. Okay. So the table 1 was there. So you got the idea that table 1 was there. So some table 1 is there with some 6 data, 6 rows and some column with some student data is there. And that table is represented by a matrix A, and each node is a graph corresponding to a student from the table, and sequence number is used to label the nodes to the graph. Okay. And the pseudocode is been written here, and from the pseudocode you will get an idea what you have to calculate and what to get. So for the first line, you can see that, so is that it's just that a procedure has been called. Okay. And that procedure has been defined here, and that is, and what is that? So you have a dictionary D that is empty, and then all the that while condition is started, and then you are just picking out the each row, or you can say the each card you are taking out, and in that dictionary you have that, in the dictionary you have, what is this? You have a key, right? And your key is what? The sequence number, and then you are storing in the form of a list with the date of birth and the gender, and then you are moving. So you are reading the first card, then the second, third, fourth, or you can say the first row, second row, third row, fourth row, fifth row, and what you are storing is date of birth and gender. Okay. In the dictionary. So inside the dictionary you have the sequence number, and inside that you are having, you are storing a list in the form of date of birth and the gender. Okay. And what is the other thing? You are creating a matrix, that is, you can see that, and n is what? Can you tell me the value of n? Can somebody tell me the value of n? What you'll be getting? The length of
Number of rows of table 1.
Correct. Yeah, you'll be getting 6. Yeah. So that was from 0 to 5. So you'll be getting 6. So you'll be building a matrix of n cross n, that is 6 cross 6. Okay. And what now you are doing is, for each I in the keys of D. So okay, so D is a dictionary, and then you are just, for each value of the keys, whatever the values of keys are there. So keys were basically the sequence number. And then again, if you are simply moving inside that dictionary, and then what you are doing is, whenever there is a, so basically there is again a procedure. So that procedure is, you can see this, the other procedure also, that is the is related X and Y. So the whole screen is visible to you, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
But what is the purpose of n here? It is not being called anywhere.
Okay, so that you will see in the next slide. Okay, just I'm telling you to just read out everything from here, and then we'll go to the next slide, and then you'll get an idea. So I told you two procedure has been called. One was basically the dictionary, where we have stored all the things with the sequence number. According to the sequence number, we have stored the date of birth and the gender. In the second thing, in the second procedure, what we have done, that we have just matched, for we were taking out randomly to serial number. Okay. And then we were matching whether the date of birth and the gender is same or not. Okay. And if that is same, we are returning true. Okay. And it's not, we are not checking itself. So you got the idea, right? From this tape, this pseudocode.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the problem here is, it's like very simple. So which of the following statements are not true about this graph? So whatever you got it from there, see, you have been,
Can
you
you please
have a,
explain the code again?
yeah, okay, I'll explain it again. So in the first procedure, so basically two procedure has been called up. So the first one is the dictionary, and that we are creating a dictionary, and that store in the dictionary, the keys are the sequence number. So you can see the data set where the first column, you can see that the sequence number is there. So according to that sequence number, let's, for example, this is 0, right? So in that 0, if you are creating a dictionary, the key 0 stores what? The 0 is storing date of birth and the gender. So 7 November, comma M. So there is a dictionary, and inside the dictionary, it's storing in the form of a list. And that list consists of 7 November, comma M. Similarly, for the sequence number first, it will store what? Can you tell me what will store for the sequence number 1?
It will store
7 November and mail.
Number M.
Yeah, correct. So it will just store 7 November and M. Okay. So similarly, it will do, it will start for all, it will just take out all the 6, whatever the rows we have or the 6 card we have, it will store for all the 6 datas in the dictionary D. That was the empty that we have stored. So it will call that. So the second is just saying the length of, calculating the length. Okay. And that is N. And the third is what? It will create a matrix of N cross N. So create matrix, you are already aware of that. It will just create a matrix of N cross N, where both N, you can say one is the row and one is the column. The first one generally we take it as a row and the second one is a column. Okay, that is fine. You can word like also, that is totally fine. Because we are and then we have what? And what we are doing next, and there is other procedure that is related XY. If you have XY, so what we'll check is, so whatever the X is there and whatever the Y is there, it will check the first value of X and it will compare with the first value of Y. Similarly, it will it will see that the last value of X or the last value of Y, if this is both are similar, same value, then it will return true, otherwise false. Okay. So this was the whole pseudo code. Now you have to answer something else. So see, okay, if somebody has done understood this 4-5 line also, I'll explain you. So what you have to do in this line, so 2 procedure was there, and then you have for each I in keys of D, what does this line will do? Can somebody tell me the fourth
Create
line?
I in keys of D.
Correct. So it will take out each of the value of I, right? And then again
Yes,
for
sir.
each value of J, so it will again take out the value of J from the keys D. So whatever the value you have, like from 0 to 5, correct? So it will take out those value, and then it will check what? If you are getting some value, if this condition, so if whenever I is not equal to J, okay, then what will do? If this condition is getting satisfied, this whatever the rules.
When I is not equals to J, it means, sir, it is not taking the same student. It is taking different student.
No, if I
It
is
is
not equals to J, yeah, correct, you are correct. Whenever the
It's
sequence
actually
number is different.
comparing to different student, not
Yeah,
the same.
yeah. Correct. It's comparing with the different student, and if you can see that whenever this condition is getting satisfied, the Aij is getting 1. So in that matrix, you have all the values are 0 in the starting. And whenever this condition is getting satisfied is related to X and Y, if this condition is getting satisfied, it is returning as 1 in that matrix value. Okay, so we have an N cross N matrix, and then this Ij will give
What
you.
is it mean by I not equal to?
Sir, I have different dates, sir, not same date, na, sir.
See, okay, so what you were asking, D of I, yeah?
Means I will be not equal to J when, sir.
So you have keys of D is what? The sequence number from 0 to 5, correct? So if you are taking I was
Right,
0
sir.
and J was 1, then it will do this. Then it will go inside. Otherwise, it will not go inside itself, right? Correct?
Okay.
So I and J as the keys. So what was the D? I told you. So from here you got some dictionary. With that keys value as what? The key value was the serial number from 0 to 5. Correct? And similarly for each I, so I and J are the, what you can say, the keys value, and it is taking whenever it's like different, then it will go inside and then check for this condition, then check for this procedure. And if this is satisfied, it will put the value of Aij. So I row and J column, it will put the value as 1. Otherwise, all the other are 0, right? And it will do for all the values. Can somebody tell me what will happen to the principal diagonal? Principal diagonal, you are already aware of that,
Yeah,
right?
the main diagonal,
It will be
It
zero.
will stay 0. Nothing
Yeah,
will
it will be
change.
0. Okay,
Yes,
so
the main
this
diagonal will
all,
be-
this pseudocode you have understood, right?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Can you once show the
Yes,
table?
sir.
Okay, so now this is the question. Which of the following statements are not true about this graph? So
Sir,
the
can you
first
show
statement,
the table once more?
okay. So this is the table. Just go through this and take the screenshot or whatever you want to take. See the,
Okay, thank you, sir. Done.
okay, done. And then you have the pseudocode, and then this is the question. Which of the following statements are not true about this graph? So from that matrix, you have built a matrix, right? From this pseudocode, you have built a matrix. where you have 0 and 1 as a value. Okay. And for that matrix, you can have a graph, and that from there, this is asking a question. Which of the following statement is not correct? Just focus on not correct and which can be not correct. Tell me that, and then I'll explain you again how will you go and solve this problem.
Sir, what is a clique?
See, clique is basically, see, let's for example, you have some node, number of nodes, right? So nodes and vertices you are already aware, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So clique has been already taught, right? It's the basic simple thing.
Clique is a directionless uh, relation between two points.
It's simply the collection of vertices. Okay, so you can write it in the so you can write it on the periodic itself. I'll explain you. So clique is basically the collection of vertices in an undirected graph where each vertices you can say is connected to the rest vertices. Okay, let's for example you have,
Okay, sir.
you got it right.
Yes, sir, got it.
Sir, is it mandatory that it will be connected to all the vertices present there?
See, from whatever the bigger graph you have, it's basically the subgraph. Okay, so you have some, let's for example a big graph, and out of in that big graph also you have a smaller graph where, let's for example you have some 10 vertices, and out of that 10 vertices there you can see that the 3 vertices are there, those are connected to each other. So you can say that this subgraph out of this bigger graph is a clique.
Click.
Right?
Sir, are you drawing something or showing some other screen?
No, I'm not drawing anything.
Yes, sir.
So the whole graph will be considered to be click, right, sir?
No, not the whole graph, the subgraph, the smaller
Yeah,
portion.
yeah. This is what I mean, sir. The graph which is connected with each other, the nodes, vertex which are connected to each other within a graph. Those considered to be okay.
Yeah. So it's basically a subgraph, okay, which all its vertices are linked to all other vertices.
So
Okay.
in that
And
case, sir,
see,
will two vertices be considered because if two vertices are connected to each other,
this is a click, yeah.
That's a click, right?
Hmm.
So that's the minimum number of
Correct. Yes.
to make a click
Generally,
is
we
two.
don't consider a single vertex as a click, but from two nodes, if they are connected, it's a click.
Sir, could you just explain what a clique is, because it's already there in the lectures. Brief.
What? Okay, so I told you clique is basically a collection of vertices. Let's, for example, you have two vertices A and B, and if that is connected, okay, so basically if we have 5 vertices, right, so each of the vertices should be connected to the remaining one. And if that is the case, that you can say it's a clique. It's a subgraph, or you can say if the whole graph itself is connected to each of the vertices, you can say this whole graph itself is a clique. Okay. And if you have two vertices A and B and those are both connected, then you can say that, okay, this is a clique because both of the vertices A is connected to B and B is connected to A. And because this is an undirected graph, so there is no direction in this. So that's why you can say if you have two vertices A and B and these are connected, then you can say it's a clique. And if you have A, B, C, then A should be connected to B and C, B should be connected to A and C should be connected to A and B. Then it's a clique of 3 vertices. And from the matrix,
Sir, could you just explain 3 vertices?
So what will X1
Clique of 3 vertices.
What?
What happens in
One
this
by
clique
two.
when 3 vertices?
I can't hear any of you.
Number 2, sir. No, 2.
Can you say what happens when there are 3 vertices?
Yeah, I'll tell you. First, I'll just see that. Okay, so out of that 14 people has, so whoever has said B is a incorrect statements totally right. So in each clique, so there is at least one pair of student having a different date of birth. So that is not going to happen because see, you already are taking those only where the date of birth and the gender are matching, right? And then only you are putting one in that matrices. Okay, so I'll explain you the solution. First, I'll tell you. So you're asking the 3 for the 3 vertices. Let's for I can't write it because I don't have the writing pad with me. So that's why I'm facing issue. So Can I? Is it visible to you?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Let's, for example, you have this. So this is A. I can't write much, but this is just for the simplicity. I just said this is C. So if let's, for example, this is 3 node A, B, C. Okay, because you can see that A is connected to B and C both, right? Similarly, C is connected to B and A, and B is connected to C and A. So if this is the case, then you can say that this is a clique. Similarly, if you have two vertices only, let's, for example, this is a only one vertices, and this is B, and this is connected. Then this also you can say that this is a clique because the first vertices is connected to the second, and the second is also connected to the first. Okay. Did you get the
And
idea?
And sir, clique can only be in non-directed graphs.
Yeah. Okay, so so you got the idea of clique. So now let's, for example, okay, so let's start with the solution. Maybe from this solution itself, there is some plot that we have plotted from where you can get an idea. Okay.
Sir, there is a formula, no? N into n minus 1 divided by 2, number of clicks.
Okay, so those formula and all is like fine, but you can calculate the maximum or the at most how many clicks that you can get it from the number if you have n rows and n column. So those are the formula.
It's basically combination one NC2 multiplied by MC2.
Okay, so let's discuss this problem first. So how many of you have solved? So out of 29 people, 20 have solved this problem. Okay, so whoever has not solved the problem, what was the issue that you got while solving this problem?
So clique of three vertices means each of the vertices can be connected to the other three.
What?
Clique of three vertices means each of the vertices to the other two.
Correct. Each of the other vertices should be connected. Okay. Yeah, if you have like for the three, and from the matrices also you can see what happens if you have a bigger matrices, right? And if you see in that bigger matrix, for example, you have n cross n matrix, and in that bigger n cross n matrix where n is the number of node that you have, you can see that a smaller matrix of 3 cross 3 somewhere in this matrix itself, you can see that 3 cross 3 matrix is symmetrical about like that 3 cross 3 matrix is symmetrical. Okay, then you can say that 3 cross 3 matrix, that means out of that n matrices, that 3 cross 3 means that 3 node is a clique. Okay, because in that one, it's in that 3 cross 3 matrices, maybe I think so. How many of you are able to get this idea? If you have a bigger matrices, in that bigger matrices, if you are able to see a smaller matrices that is symmetrical about that principal diagonal analysis, principal diagonal, then that smaller matrix is a clique. How many of you are able to get this? None of you?
No, got it, sir.
Yeah,
Got it.
Okay, even
Because
for example,
it's a symmetrical, so A comma B will be equals to B comma A. So basically both the direction the same, it will have the same value.
correct. Let's, for example, you have a very big n cross n. Let's, for example, n is 3. If you have a 3 cross 3 matrix, like if you have 3 node, then you will be getting some 3 cross 3 matrix. And if that 3 cross 3 matrix is symmetrical, that means, for example, it's like symmetrical means you should be having, it's not that, okay, so one thing I mean, I'm making is very, like what you can say, let's, for example, you have some matrices. And you have some values, some 3 nodes is there. Okay, and let's, for example, this will be, what will be the value of this? Can somebody tell me?
No, value in what sense, sir?
Okay, this value.
It will be empty.
is 0.
Okay, let's for example, this is the node and I need to convert that into matrix. What will be writing this here 0, right? What will be the value of A is connected to B, so you can write it 1. Here also you can write it 1. This is what I was saying. If you have a clique, you will be getting a symmetrical, what you can say, a matrix around this principal axis, correct? Because here also you will be getting 1, here also you will be getting 1, and here also you will be getting 1. Do you have any issue in this matrix? If you have this node like this, A, B, C.
So what if we get, instead of 1, 1, 1, if we get 1, 2, 3, and principal diagonal remains 0? And apart from that, if we get different values, instead of 1, 1, 1, if we get some different values, then will it be considered a clique or not?
No. So different value is a different concept altogether. 1, 1, I am just writing whether the B is getting connected to A or not. This is what I am trying to say.
No, I got that point, sir. I got that point. Instead of 1, you could have written 3 also. That's not at all a problem. My point is, instead of writing just 1, 1, 1, that is A to B connected and written as 1, A to C connected and written as 1, instead of 1, 1, 1, if
see
what,
why I'm writing.
Sir, let me just ask this. So instead of 1, had this been 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5, 6, and different, completely different values. Not it's just 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3. No, it's not like that. Instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the principal diagonal remains the same, then will that be considered a clique or not? Hello?
Sir, your voice is breaking, sir.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
No,
Yes,
sir,
sir.
it is.
Yes.
But the voice is not audible. What? You're not able to hear me.
Audible, sir. Audible right now, sir.
Okay. So we already passed 40 minutes. So this was the first question, and so we can just start discussing the solution for this question, and maybe that will help you to clarify some of the concept of the clique. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Move the solution.
Okay. So you can see that I already explained you everything from the table. So table, you are already aware of that. So the dictionary, what dictionary was storing the data? What was the data that dictionary was storing?
Sequence number and date of birth. Value is date of birth and gender.
Okay, so can you tell me which of the following will be the valid element of the dictionary? Which of the following is the valid element of the dictionary? That dictionary that we have called
B.
B option, sir.
C option.
Okay,
Date of birth and the gender.
everybody should be clear with this, right? If you are able to know this, I guess, yeah. So all of you are aware of this. Okay. Now, because we are storing the sequence number in the form of DOB and the gender. So this is how it will be storing. And if you see that, it will store like this. The dictionary, your dictionary will be like this because it has stored for the 0 sequence number, again for the first sequence number, and for the second sequence number, 4th and 5th. Okay, for the 3rd, 4th, 5th. So all the 6 value it has stored. Okay. You can see that when the first that we have called the dictionary, so this has stored in the form of, so you can see that after 6 iteration, it will be storing the value like this. In the first iteration, the first condition, so that's in the pseudocode, you wrote something, right? In the pseudocode, it was while you're having table 1 has more cards. So if you have this condition was true, so we move and we store the data. Now we went to the second card.
Sir,
And
can you please do the full screen of this page?
But you're not able to see this or what?
Yes,
We are
sir.
able to see, sir.
I guess this is the full screen itself. Can't do much.
Oh, okay,
And we
sir.
can see this.
That's okay, sir. That's okay, sir. We can understand little bit if it's okay.
Okay, so what happens in the first iteration, what we'll do is the first condition itself is true. So if the first condition is true, then from that X, whatever the card we have, it will store this data and then it will move further. Again, this condition is true. So it will start because you have in the starting, you have the number of cards as 6 and then it will start reducing because you have while you have asked for table 1 has more cards, more rows. Okay, so if you have in the starting it was 6 row, then 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, and then it will store all the data. It will come to an end. So you have a dictionary in
So
this
what
form.
does the row column D indicate?
Where? Okay, this is dictionary, right?
Column D.
Initially it will dictionary was an empty dictionary, right? So it started the value, storing the value where you have a keys as the sequence number and the value in the form of list, and that list consists of the date of birth and the gender. Okay, this is what is storing. After calling that dictionary D, that procedure was there, right? Procedure in is that some, yeah, so this procedure was there, right? This is the procedure that we are calling. The first step, what is that we are doing? We are just putting, so it should, the dictionary D consists of something, right? And the value we are getting from this procedure. When we call this, we are getting the dictionary D in this form. Okay. Did you get the idea? Is this
Yes,
fine?
sir.
Shall I move further? Okay. So what happens in the next second step? I already explained the second step also at that time. So whenever you have the D value, so you have this dictionary, and in that dictionary, what happens? It will start taking out. So let's, for example, for the first case, took out I equals to 0 and I equals to 1. So will it go inside this loop? So 0 is not equals to 1, right? So it will go inside this. Okay. And then what will check? It will check the first value of X. So what is the X here? X is the dictionary with I means I have taken I as 0 and J as 1. If I have taken I as 0 and J as 1, so it will be having some value where first of D of I is what? What is the first of this value? It will be some 7 number, right? See.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So it started the how that when we call this procedure, okay, how it will get executed. So what was the code? So we have that code for whenever we have I is not equals to J, then it will go inside that loop. Correct? If else condition, then only if else condition will get applied. So it was what if I is not equals to J. So for the first case, it was, let's for example, it has started with the first I, it has just fixed the value of I, and then we are rotating with the value of J. So just took the value I as 0 and then J as also 0. Then what will the value? It will not execute because I is equals to J and should not be executing that, right? We are already aware of that procedure. Then we were calling. So this is a procedure. You already aware of that. If I is not equals to J, then only it will go inside this. If you have 0, 0, it will not go inside that. So it will not work there. When you have I equals to 0 and then J is changing, if J is different from I, then it will start executing and then you'll get the value of X. Okay, and X is what? X is this one, right? So D of I, what is that? So for the first key value where D of 0 is what? 7 number and M. Similarly, you'll get the Y and then first of X. What will be the first of X? 7 number, right? And the last of X will be M. Similarly, it will calculate for the first of Y and then we'll see that whether both are same or not. If this is same, that will return you true, right? And if it will return you true, then what this will get executed. And what is this? A of 0, 1 will be equals to 1. So in that matrix that you have n cross n, this value from 0 it will change to 1. Isn't it? Is it clear now to everyone?
Yes, sir. Clear.
Yes, sir.
Sir, please explain last step.
Okay, so I'll explain you again. See, in the second step, so we have started executing the second code. So it has been executed till here, and now from here, it has just taken I from that key of, so you have a dictionary where the keys value are what? 0 to 5, correct? Similarly, you have I can take from 0 to 5, J also can take 0 to 5, right?
Yes.
And when you have I is not equals to J, then only it will get executed. So in the
Yes,
first
sir.
case, I was 0, J was 0, so it didn't got executed because I is equals to J, so it will not go inside that loop. Now you have I equals to 0 and J equals to 1, then it will get executed because when I is not equals to J, it will get executed.
Yes, sir.
So it will go inside this. And it will go inside this, and what is that inside? So this condition should get true. Then only this loop will get executed, right? This loop
Sir,
or what this if
What will be the result of this last loop, sir?
I
Okay.
don't get the result, sir. I won't
Okay.
just ask for result.
So when I is 0 and j is 1, so it should go inside this. So it went there. So
Yes,
this
sir.
condition. So if this yellow part, and in this yellow
Sir,
part,
I understand this, but end instruction, last one. A, I, Z equals to 1. What is that?
a
That last
where-
one. Down all of this.
okay.
That
So
one.
this,
Yes, sir.
if this this condition wherever this is in yellow, if this is true, then this value a of I. So a is what? A is a matrix, correct?
Yes, sir.
A is a matrix that we have created, n cross n matrix. That means 6 cross 6 matrix, and all the values are 0. That means an empty graph.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now,
So we just
whenever,
consider that value is 1.
whenever x and y is similar, like the first of x is equals to first of y and the last of x is equals to last of y, then this value will get updated because it will return true. And whenever it will return true, this means that x and y is connected, or you can say whatever, there is some relation between x and y. Okay, so that's why
Yes, sir.
this value is getting updated to 1. Okay, and wherever this will happen, for those all conditions, this will become 1. Right?
I understand, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So you can see that whenever for this condition, when I equals to 0 and j equals to 1, you can see that this condition is getting satisfied and this will return to true. And if this returns to true, that means that zeroth column, zeroth row and first column. So the first value of that matrix will be what? 1. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Wherever,
Yes, sir.
okay. Similarly, it will, so you can see that cell in like there is a matrix that is A is 1 if B and gender are same for 2 rows. Okay. So this is
Sir,
simply
please just
you
scroll down the page, sir.
yeah, this is the, you can see that, right?
Yes, sir.
So you can see that you have got a matrix. You can see this matrix, matrix A, where you have 5 column and 5 row. You can see that second column, or you can say the column index is 1 and the row index is 0. You can see that the second value is 1. Why that is 1? Because from that procedure, you know that whenever there is a date of birth and gender are getting same for that node. So 0th row and first column, you can see that they have date of birth and the gender is same. Then you can say that there is some relation, and then you are what you can say updating the value as 1. Because earlier everything was zeros. You are creating a matrix, then you already know that in that matrix, whenever you are creating, all the values are 0. Right? So now the value is getting updated. Similarly, for the second case also, it will happen, right? So now after executing whole thing, you will get a matrix like this. Okay. Till now, if you have any issue.
No, sir.
Okay. Okay. From this bigger graph, what you can say? Yeah.
Small doubt on this previous slide.
Okay. Yeah, this slide or previous slide.
One step back again.
Yeah.
One step more, sir.
Okay. One more.
Yes, sir. One more.
Okay.
Yes, this one, sir. From the code, this procedure I is related to XY.
Okay.
How can we make out that X is coming for I is coming from X and Y is coming from J? Could you
X
please
is
make
coming. Yeah, see, you know that whenever, so this type of, whenever you have this, so see the right one, right part of your screen. This procedure is related XY. Whenever you have something in the form of XY, what it will do is, let's for example, X in the form of some list. Okay, and that list consists of maybe n values. So what it will do is, if first of X, the first value of X is equals to first value of Y, and the last value of X and last value of Y is same, then just return true. Okay, now you can see, come to the left part of the screen. So this is what X is, what your X is D of I. Okay, D of I, D is a dictionary, and I is what? I is the Q. So for that, D is a dictionary and I is that the key number, key value, right? And for that key value, you have what? You already know that there is a list. For each key, you have a list which consists of 2 elements, right? Date of birth and gender.
Okay.
Correct? Okay, so First of X means what? First of D of I. First of D of I is what? So you have a list that consists of date of birth and the gender. So the first value, what will contain? It will contain the gender of the D of I. Right?
Okay.
Similarly, the first of Y is what? The date of birth from the other list. That is from the D of J. Right? You can see that. Here you can see that. In the first iteration, you can see that X is what? D of I. So it is stored 7th of November and male. And Y is what? D of J. D of J is what? So it will give you a list that consists of also the date of birth and the gender. Now it will match. If this is matching, this will return true. Otherwise, it will return false. Whenever you are getting true, that means that the last line will get executed. A of ith row and jth column will get updated to 1. And you can see that after updation, you have the matrix in this form. Okay. And in the starting, I told you, what did I told you in the starting? In the starting, I told you if you have a bigger matrix, and in that bigger matrix, if you have a smaller matrix, you can see that in the first 4, you can see the matrix, you have a symmetrical matrix, right? You can see that this matrix, you can see the first 4, like the boxes, you can see first 4 boxes. Just see this one. And see this one. It's symmetrical about this, right? And all the values are 1, 1, 1. And here also it's symmetrical about this. So what you can say is, from this graph, you can say that there are how many cliques? Okay. So I guess this you will read it maybe later. This is not required for, I guess, CT for sure. Maybe later courses you will be much reading more about this all concepts. Okay. And that is not required at all. So I was just telling you to just get an idea. So from here, you can just see that you can get that this 3 cross 3. Yeah.
Clicks.
What? How many?
5 clicks.
5?
Yes.
I got 2 by making
3 clicks.
2.
See, you can see that there are 2 places, right? This is a 2, I guess the click should be there. And then what would be the, for example, I told you how many.
Everyone is convinced that.
What?
So what have you marked in left corner in the right?
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Said you are clear.
Okay. So what I was saying you, see, okay. So you got these values, you have got these matrices, right? And for that matrices, you got the value. And wherever there is a 1, what does that mean? What does that mean? Whenever you have a 1, let's for example, this row column 0 and column 1. What does that mean?
Means these 2
Date of
students
birth.
have same
And
date of birth
same
and
gender
gender.
and same gender.
Yeah, same gender and same date of birth.
Date of
Correct?
birth.
So that means what? 1 and 0 is connected. So there is one node 0 and there is one node 1. And 0 and 1 is connected, right? And that's an undirected, like in undirected graph. So you can say that this small graph out of this bigger one can be a clique where one node is 0 and one node is 1. Similarly, you can see that in the lower part where I've circled that, you can see that column 3, from the column 3 to column 5, you can see that column 3. So row node 3, 4, 5, you can see this, right? So I told you for a clique, what should happen? 3 should get connected to 4 and 5. You can see that 3 is getting connected to 4 or not. So there is 1, right? Similarly, 3 is getting connected to 5. Okay. Similarly, you can check for 4. If 4 is connected to 3 or not, yes. 4 is connected to 5 or not, yes. Similarly, 5 is connected to 3 or not, yes. And similarly, 5 is connected to 4. So you can see that this also can be a 1 clique where the node is 3, 4, 5. Okay, and what does that mean? That means, what does that mean if this is a clique 3, 4, 5?
Triangular shape.
Yeah, so same the gender and the date of birth is same.
So how many clicks in total is there, sir?
2 clicks, no, sir.
2 clicks, right?
Okay. Right.
Yeah.
Got it. Got it. Because 0 is connected to 1, 1 is connected to 0. This becomes bidirectional. That is both way they are connected. So that is
Correct.
1 click. And
right.
3 is connected to 4, 3 is connected to 5, and similarly 4 to 3, 4 to 5, and all. So this
Correct.
makes another group of nodes where they are connected to each other out of these two. Okay, fine. Fine,
Correct,
sir.
correct. So that's why I was telling you, if you have a bigger matrix and if you are able to point out the smaller sub, so clique is generally the from a bigger matrices, from bigger graph, the subgraph. If you are getting the subgraph where all in that subgraph, if all the nodes are connected to each other, then you can say that is a clique. So you were having 6x6 matrix or 6 node. Okay, and you can see that out of that, you can see that smaller two, where the one clique is out of 2 node only, made of 2 node, and the other is made of 3 node. And how do you get an idea from that matrices? Just by seeing the matrices, just point out the smaller matrices where you can see that it's symmetrical and all the other values are 1. Okay, so I get that would help you to get an idea.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's move. Okay, so this is what I was saying you. So the first clique and 3, 4, 5 with the other clique. Okay.
Yes, sir. Got it.
So this was the wrong statement. So let's move to the second part. So we'll try to be quick in this question because one question itself took 1 hour. Okay, so we'll try to solve this quickly. So just go through this whole statement. I'll again explain you, but first you go through this. I'm just giving you 1 to 2 minutes to just go through each and every line, and then tell me if you are not able to understand. Then I'll explain you. If you're not getting anything, just ask me from this, whatever has been written here. Is it clear to everyone? Shall we go to the next slide?
Sir, what is protogenistic and endogenistic?
Okay, there's no problem in that. So there is some 2 lead actor. One can be a main role and one can be his friend. That is, so there is some 2 lead actor in a movie.
Okay, sir.
So just saying you have a table that consists of that contain information regarding a movie. So movie serial number 0, you can say that it's a movie. But 0 can be Sole. Okay, and then each row in the table correspond to a movie and has exactly 2 lead role, 2 lead actors. So one star one can be Amitabh Bachchan, and then second, who was that? Dharmendra, I guess. So one can be the second actor of that movie. Okay, so you can say that one. So do not get any. So this is just the 2 star 1 and star 2 of any movie, and there's a pool of some n actors. So there is some n different actor, and you have a list of movies, and you can say that star 1 is the first actor and star 2 is the second actor of that movies. Okay, each actor being assumed as a unique. So each actor, and here, in spite of name, the star, the name is itself in the form of some numerical value. Let's, for example, 3 is some Shah Rukh Khan and 1 is some Amitabh Bachchan in that form, and that 0 is some movies of some hero. Okay, where this star 1 and star 2 both were the actor in that movie. So what it's saying, there is a pool of n actor, and each actor will assign a unique index number, and each actor that I told you, and there are m movies. So in the serial number from 0 to m-1, the number will be there, and the star value will also be from 0 to n-1 because we have n actor. So let's for example movie 0, and what does that movie 0 is in the form 3, 1. So 3 in that movie 0. So 0 is some movie. I told you Sole. In that 3 was the actor and 1 was the actor, right? Correct. And if you have been asked to write first of movie 0 is what? So the first star 1. So the star 1 of that movie, and the last one is what? The last of that movie. So 0 is some
Star
movie where
2.
Okay, so you got the idea, right? Can you move to the next part?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. So 1 minute, sir. I'll just take a screenshot.
Okay, you can take the screenshot.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now you have a pseudo code for the second problem. The problem is, so you have co-star, and co-star is some matrix in the form of n cross n. So you were having some n star, and it's there in the form of some n cross n matrix you got. So, and all this matrix is, so the co-star matrix that you have built is consists of all the zero value. Now what you are doing is, you are doing for each I in keys of, so movies, you already know movies was what, a dictionary where the keys value was what. So in that movies dictionary, what was the key value?
So it was a sequence number of the movies.
Sequence number of movies.
Yeah,
And
so movie sequence number. Okay, so movie sequence number. So you are iterating in that for each I in keys of movies. What you are doing is *1 is equals to first of movies. So whatever the, let's for example, I Sole, for example. So the key, the sequence number of that Sole. So *1 is what, first of movies of I. So what is the value of *1 in the form? It should be Amitabh Bachchan.
Yes, it is *1.
*1, whatever you are taking. So
Three.
basically it will just give you 3. And *2, it will give you,
One.
what was
Zero.
that actor? 1. Okay. Now, what is this doing? After iterating this, the co-star of, so what was the value you have got? 3, 1. 3, 1. That 3, third row and first column. It will just give you the value of, in the starting it was 0, right? In the starting it was 0. Now it will get updated to 1. Correct? Similarly, if you have co-star, so if you are getting this 1, 2, so for sure you will be getting 2, 1 or so, right? So it will, this value will also get updated. Okay. Pseudocode you have understood. Whenever you have a co-star in the form of matrix, you are iterating the value of I. That means the sequence number you are iterating in that movies. Okay, the key value you are iterating, and then you are just storing the value of *1 and *2 in that movie. Let's for example, you have some movie that was 0, and in that movie which has been casted, so *1 was 3 and *2 was 1. So that has been casted, and that then in that matrix itself, because the matrix is in the form of n cross n, and the value of star can be from 0 to n minus 1, right? So in that, now you are updating the value of that matrix. Correct? This is what you are doing in this pseudocode, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now what is this? So there is another pseudocode, and what is that pseudocode is? So you have been given a value that max is starting with the 0 value, and then you have a stars, and that is an empty list. Okay. Now what you are doing is for each I in the row, so you have started with the first row. The first row you went, so you have a matrix, you have built the matrix from here. So you are having a movies dictionary, and then you have built a matrix. And what you are doing next is, the first for each I in the row, so you started the first row.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's for example I0. So you started with the first row, and then you are iterating for all the columns value. So let's, you started with I equals to 0, and then j equals to 0. So I0 and J0 is, that means the first column itself, the first value itself of the matrix. Okay, of that column co-star. Co-star, you already aware of that. Co-star is a matrix that you have built here. Now what is doing? If co-star of ith j is greater than max, then you will go inside this loop. Okay, you will go inside this if else condition, and then you will update the value of max. Whatever the value of co-star ith j is there, you will update the value of that there, and then you will store the value of stars I and j. So you will store the value of that ith row and the jth column here. Okay, now you have to say that what is that value max after iterating, and what is that star. You have to say about that. After doing all this stuff, so you have created the matrix. First, you have built a matrix n cross n. Then you have updated the value. You have updated value in this form with this pseudocode. And then with this pseudocode, you have stored the value of max and star. So what does that value max will tell you? So did you get the idea what we are doing here?
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, in the first pseudocode that co-stars star one, star two, sir, what will that do, sir? I did not understand the last two lines of this the first pseudocode, sir. The last two
Sir,
lines.
can you
So in the-
explain with an example, sir, please? Like,
Okay, I'll
any
explain you.
two movies. You can take two movies like that.
Okay, I'll
and,
just
can you
explain
explain?
you. Okay, I'll explain you with the name itself. So you have a movie Sole, okay, where you have so movies. Let's for example, movie 0 for the Sole, the sequence number is 0. Okay. Now in the Sole you have two stars, star 1, star 2. Star 1 is, let's for example, Amitabh Bachchan, and star 2 is some actor Dharmendra. Okay. Now you have what you have did is you have created you have a matrix now from each I in the keys of movies. So you have a movies in the first row. I told you the movies first sequence, the 0th one, it's a Sole, and Sole ka sequence is 0. So I is 0, and then started. You went inside this. In the star 1, what will store? It will store the first of movies of 0. Movies of 0. 0 is what the sequence number of that movie Sole. And what is the star 1? Star 1 was Amitabh Bachchan, and star 2 is Dharmendra. I'm not storing the value. Yeah, I'm just storing the name of that actor. Okay, and what does that? So the co-star. So you have created a matrix, and in that matrix, let's for example, in spite of the number, I'm just putting the co-star name itself. So star 1 is some Amitabh Bachchan. So whenever you have this column, the first column, let's for example, the first column, it's the first star 1 is the row. So Amitabh Bachchan, and the second is Dharmendra. So whenever the intersection of that matrix, you have created some matrix, right? Let's for okay, where is that? Let's for example, this is a matrix, and this is Amitabh. So here also you'll be having somewhere Dharmendra, right? So you'll be starting with Amitabh, Dharmendra, and you'll be writing the name of that star. So in the same way, the star 1 is consist of the number, right? I'm just telling you the name itself of that actor. Okay. And for this movies, for that I equals to 0, that means for that movie Sole, whenever you'll come here, so the co-star of, because in the starting it was 0, right? The co-star matrix was itself n cross n, and that was 0. For all the actor, it was written 0. For all the actor, let's for example, this is Saruk and whatever the name you can write it. When you have came for star 1, star 2, whenever you are iterating for that movie Sole, okay, the star 1 becomes Amitabh and star 2 becomes Dharmendra. And the value of that co-star, whenever there is a star 1, star 2 as Dharmendra and Amitabh. So let's for example, this is the intersection. So here you'll be having the value, right? So in this bigger matrices, whatever your matrix, because I'm just telling for the one value, one movie. So you will be having n number of stars here and n number of stars here also in this row and column. Okay, whenever there is an intersection that this stuff, this is the intersection of Amitabh and Dharmendra. So this value will get updated to 1. That means what? The star 1 and 2 has worked in that ith movie. This is what tells, right? Similarly, if there is a 1, that means this actor and this actor has worked in that some movie, right? This is what it's telling. Did you get the idea?
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir, got it.
And it's undirected. Means
So when there is a intersection of Amitabh and Dharmendra, then the value become 1.
Correct, correct.
And when there is a intersection of Dharmendra and
Amitabh, then also the value will
Amitabh,
get up.
then also
updated.
become to 1. Yes.
Yeah, you can see that star 1, 2 gets updated, and again star 2, 1 gets updated. Star 2 and star 1 gets updated, right? That's why both the lines has been written here. Because the undirected,
Okay,
right?
sir.
So that's why your plot will be symmetrical about principal axis. Okay. The second thing is, so now tell me what is that max and what is that star?
Max is number of
Can you just explain when
Max
will
is a
the
variable
value be
and
1?
starts the list.
Star is a list, that is fine. What was that star mean? Which star will store? And tell me that max also. Can you write it?
Max is the number of movies by 2-star and co-star. Maximum.
These combinations means it is 1. Maximum is 0 now. If it is 1, wherever it is 1 or greater than 0,
it will
max
store the co-stars which have worked with maximum times with each other in the same movie.
Okay, so Please write it the solution. I just want to see the solution of everyone. So whatever you're thinking, what will that max will store and what will that stars will store?
There are options, sir.
There is no option. You can just write it your answer. So that the way they have wrote, you can just write it like this. What? The intersection value will be 1. This is what we are asking. Can you repeat your doubt again?
Both are one. Also.
Both are 1 for what?
Number of movies which they both are one.
Okay, max. So you are saying the answer. Yeah, so max will represent. I just want to see your answer first. The star shows the maximum number of co-stars who has worked with maximum number of stars. Max number of movies where 2 stars have worked together. Okay, so whoever has wrote this is a correct answer. So max will denote the maximum number of movies where the 2 stars have worked together, and the star will be pair of this star. Okay. Max is within the maximum number of times 2 co-star I and J have worked together. Star the star. This is also correct. Max stores the highest number of movies where 2 has worked together. Yeah. So whatever you have written is like totally. Whatever I have read till now, 4-5 answers, and those are absolutely correct. Okay. So maximum, basically the max variable will store the maximum number of movies in which any pair of stars has worked together. Let's, for example, Shahrukh and Salman. They have worked in some 5 movies. So that max will store that one. And which actor is there? So stars will store I and J. That is Shahrukh and Salman. Okay. Did you get the idea? Or again, I'll explain you the solution
Yes, sir.
once more. Okay. So I'll start
Sir, what
explaining.
was
Star will store the star will be those 2 actors, okay, who has worked together maximum number of times in maximum number of movies.
okay, sir.
Okay, so I explained you this yellow part, right? Anywhere, if you have any issue, just ask me. I just explained you all these stuffs also. Look how co-star is getting published. So let's, for example, you have this example where I is equals to 0. So the star, you already know that star 1 is 3 and star 2 is 1 for that case, where you have a dictionary in that key value is 0. You have this star 1 and star 2 is this one. And whenever this and I equals to 0, you can see that whenever this 3 and 1 is meeting, 3 you can say that some actor and the 1 is also one actor. So you can see that the value is getting updated. Similarly, for the other cases also it getting updated, right? Is it clear to everyone? How is it getting updated? I explained you, again I'm explaining you. Whenever, so you already know the pseudocode that is there. The pseudocode is getting updated whenever for some I co-star. So you have this pseudocode in the starting, you were having this one, right? So you have some matrices, and in that matrix it started with the first, it started with each of the keys value, and then took the value of star 1 and 2, and then it had updated the value of that. Correct? You can see that here also in the solution part. For this case, the star 1 is 3 and star 2 is 1. So you can see that 3, 1, whenever you have third column and the first row, you can see that third means the value of that 3, the row value is 3, and whenever the column value, the row value is 3 and the column value is 1, you can see that the last one, it is 1. It is getting updated to 1. Similarly, from the pseudocode, both the values getting updated, right? Similarly, for the movie 1, where the sequence number of that movie is 1, it's called different movie, Oppenheimer, okay? And this, for this case, again, you have a 2 star co-host 1 and co-host 2. And that
Sir,
is
are you
get-
pointing your cursor somewhere, sir? Because it is not visible.
No, I'm not pointing. I'm just telling you this value, the change, the color change. You can see that the 1 1. Wherever there is a green color, that is getting updated now. For movies 1, where the sequence number is 1, you have first row where the row number is 1 and the column number is 2, or the star 1 is 1 and star 2 is 2. Okay, you can see that the value is getting updated. In the previous case, the
Yes,
0
sir,
0
yes,
was
sir.
there, and then now we have it got updated. So for each iteration, the value is getting updated.
So can we take the star one is the row value and star two is the column value?
What can you take?
Star one is the row value and star two is the column value.
Yeah, this is what we are doing. You can take the other cases also, like column row also will be getting, because it's an indirect, like undirected, right? So in both the cases,
Yeah.
we'll be getting the same.
And sir, if we get star 1 and star 2 as 1 and 2 again, then we will increment this 1 and 1 to 2.
What star 1 and?
Suppose after this we get in second movie we get star 1 and star 2. So we will update row 2 column 1 as 2.
Yeah, correct. That means this actor has been worked twice.
Okay, sir.
See, again it has came to 1 2. So what will happen for movie 2 also? 2 1 was there. So same, both so the main lead was some actor 1 2 and the other lead actor was 1. So it got updated to 2, right? Correct?
Yes, sir, we got it.
Now after all the iteration, you will see that the matrix value get updated. After getting updated, this is the value, right?
Yes, sir, something
Correct?
like this.
You got this graph, correct?
Yes, sir.
Now,
Couldn't fix the graph. I can
understand.
what?
The graph alone again. The matrix, sir.
Okay, so matrix, how did we get this matrix? This is what you are asking.
Yes, sir.
See, I told you, no, from starting, if you'll see, the first statement is what? Whenever I value is 0, I you all already, what is that I? Can you tell me what is that I?
The row.
Yes.
No, what is that I
Star
here?
one.
Movie sequence number, sir.
Movie sequence number. I is the movie sequence number. Let's, for example, for the Sole, we have assumed I is equals to 0. Star 1 is the actor ka this number. Some sequence number we have given to all the actors that we have. Let's, for example, n actor we have in some maybe some industry. Okay, and in that industry, if we have n actor, 3 number we have given to some actor. Okay, star 1. So in that 0 movie, so wherever there is a movie, so let's, for example, 0 itself is a movie where star 1 is some Shah Rukh Khan was there like this. So Shah Rukh Khan is there, and then star 2 you have someone else, Katrina Kaif is there. So you have that star 1 and star 2. The name itself and the number itself is given to that the person who is in the working in that movie. Okay. And whenever you are getting this, let's, for example, 3 and 1, you are updating the value to 1. That means this both actor whose sequence number is 3 and 1 has acted in some movie 0. Okay. This is what we are doing. Did you get the idea?
Yes, sir, got it.
And again, we have started. Let's, for example, and now because we have a dictionary, like a dictionary of movies, where for all the sequence number, we have stored a list with 2 actors in that movie. So, for example, for the 0, we already know. For the 1 movie, we have this 1 2 as a actor, or this 2 people, one where the sequence number is 1 and sequence number 2 is working in that movie. Okay, so we have updated again the value because earlier it was 0, now we have updated. Now it will start updating for all the value, and in the end we have seen that this is what we have got.
Okay, sir, got it.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what does that? Okay, so we got this value, and now we have to work on this pseudocode, the second pseudocode, because we have to know regarding the max. Correct. So we have updated the graph from that create matrix, and then we have for the first pseudocode. The second pseudocode, we have initialized the value of max. So max is some variable. We have initialized with 0, and star is a list. Again, for each I in that row, so whatever we have a co-star was a matrix, right? This was a matrix. The matrix, this co-star matrix. Okay. First, so we started with the row. So we went to the first row, and then in the first row we started with the jth column, means the first column itself. So let's start with the first value itself. So we have started with the first row and the first. So we started for the first row, and then we started the first column. And now what is that?
Zero compared with 0, sir.
Yeah, correct. And now what we'll be doing, we'll be seeing that if co-star, this value I and j is greater than maximum, because for the first value, what was the value? Okay, I'll just
0.
So I have written here. So you can see that whenever you will start working on this, the first line, just focus on this first line. Whenever you have, so we started with I equals to 0 and j equals to 0. So and the max is 0 at that case, star was the empty list. The first condition is what? It should satisfy the first condition, that co-star of the first 0, 0 should be greater than 0. Is that true? No. So that condition will not, so it will not go inside that if else condition, right?
Yes, sir.
Second, for the second case, the the first row itself, the 0th row, now it will move to the second part. Now it will, at that time also the max was 0, star was a empty list. Now the star value is what? 4, right? Now
Yes,
4
sir.
is greater than 0. Correct? 4 is greater than 0, then it will go inside this loop. It will go inside this if else condition, right? It will go inside. Now it will store the value of max. What will the value of max here? 4, right?
Sir, 4.
4. And what the star, it will store the value of star as what?
0 and 1.
0, 1 it will store, right? Similarly, again, it will start going for all the other cases, and in the end, it will store the maximum value of this. So maximum will represent what is the value, the maximum value that you are getting. And what does that maximum value represents? That means this first, so wherever the actor whose column index, or let's for example, the column index is 1 and the row index is 0, this both actor has worked in some 4 movies, right? That is the maximum number of movies they have worked. And what will the star will store? Star will store that number, the actor number, right? Which are the 2 actors which have worked for the most number of times, right?
Right, sir.
Yes.
So, yeah, you got the idea, right? Is this clear to everyone?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sir, just one question.
Yeah.
Sir, you have taken the matrix here of 3 by 3 form. I just want to ask that you have, for purpose of explanation, you have taken as 3
For
by
the
3, or
purpose of
it can
explanation
be
only.
okay.
Yeah, for the
Because
purpose of
I can have a movie x equal to 5 where I can have the
correct.
co-star
You
as
can
1
have.
and another as 6.
Correct. You can have. Just to say that for the simplicity, we have taken where simple values. Otherwise, in the starting, you can see that the end actor was there, so you'll be having some bigger graph.
Yes, sir. Yes. Okay.
Okay. So we'll move to the next question, and you already know this all stuff. So the max and star, now you are aware of that. Now the third question is from the same. So whatever we have discussed, this is the updated, what you can say, not the updated one. You already have the co-star matrix, you already have that movies ka dictionary, and now you have the different pseudocode. And now tell me, what does that variable max and popular would represent at the end of this execution of this pseudocode? Should I explain the pseudocode, or you can directly say?
First, give us time to see this. Means understand.
Okay. So you have some variable. You have a variable max and popular, that you have initialized a variable. What you want to ask something for what? Okay, so you have initialized the value some two variable, max and popular. For each I in the row, so you already have a matrix, correct? You have a matrix of
So
co-stars.
can you show the co-star matrix?
Okay, so I'll just show you this one that I have built for the smaller cases, and that for this case itself, we can calculate the value. You got, okay? Just put it some value. Can we go to the pseudocode?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we have initialized the value with max and popular. Now what we are doing in the second line of code, for each I in the row, so we have started just seeing from the starting of the row. Okay, we have just started iterating from
Sir,
the post.
if this co-star is updated one or just 00 type?
No, it's the updated value.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Continue.
So this is the updated one. Updated. So see, that matrix we have created of, and after that we have done the updation. Okay, so you have some updation of the stuff. Okay. Now inside that, so whenever we have started iterating for the first row, we have again initialized another variable, that is count, that is 0. Now for each of in the first row itself, we have started iterating for the columns. Okay, in that column, if this value co-star of ij is greater than 0, then again it will update the value of count. Okay, and then again, if the count is greater than max, the max will get updated to count, and the popular will store the value of I. Now you have to say what is that max and what is that popular.
Do we have to write or speak?
No, you have to write in the next slide. Just you write it down. If you have, yeah, you can write it here. You have option to write right in the slide or not. Just think of that, and if you have that option to write, okay. Otherwise, I'll ask you to speak out. Okay, after some 2-3 minutes, just go through that and try to solve this. Okay.
Yes, sir, done.
Done.
Yes, sir, done.
Did you wrote your answer, or there is no option to write?
We can write in chat, sir.
Okay, so if you have got the answer, can you tell me what is that max and popular, and tell me the reason also?
So, Max stores. It's a popular stores the actor who has played the highest number of played in the highest number of played with highest number of different actor, and Max stores the number of other actors with whom he have played in any movie.
Okay. Yeah, I guess you're correct. Anyone else?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Sir,
go
popular
ahead.
stores the protagonist or the star one, the first star, who has worked in the most of the movies, and Max counts the number of the protagonist and the with whom he has worked in most of the movies with the another antagonist or the co-star. Mainly popular stores the first star or the star one, in which he has worked in most of the movies.
Correct. Okay. Anyone else?
Max is a
Anyone else?
number
Your
of
thought?
number of movie both the actor work together.
Okay. So okay, let's start from
Maximum
this
number
one.
of collaboration.
Yes, sir. Maximum number of movies in which these two, the main actor and the villain work together. Popular means the villain, the means the
A star with maximum number of co-stars, or maximum is like maximum number of co-stars among all the stars. Okay. Okay, let's start with the first line. We'll start solving it from the first line. The first line is we have just initialized the value of maximum popular. Okay, that is fine. Then we will move to the first row of that co-star matrix. In that first row of that co-star matrix, we have again initialized the value of count. We have fixed the value of count as 0. Now we have moved to the column. So we started looking at the column of that co-star, and whenever we have this co-star greater than 0, what we are doing? We are updating the value of count. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So tell me, for this case, if you have this one, if you have this, what will the value of this first row? Whenever co-star ij is greater than 0, so it is the count. So what is the value of count for the first row?
2.
2, correct. Similarly, for the second row, it will be, so that means 2 means what? What does that 2 counts tell you?
How many movies x equal to 0 has played
Where?
as a male actor?
Yeah. So generally, what is whether the actor, see. So the first row itself is telling you, so it will just count all the values wherever you are getting some value apart from 0. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Right? So that
Yes,
means
sir.
there is some actor in here, right? So he has acted with different actors, right? Maybe this first actor, whatever the sequence number is there, is acted with 2 different actors, right? Co-actor, you can say. Right? That means the first actor, wherever this column number, wherever the sequence number was there for that actor, he has acted with 2 different co-stars. Okay, whatever the movies he has done. Again, similarly, you will be doing for all the other rows, correct? And you'll be getting the count value for each of the row. You have started, you will be getting updating the value of count. Okay, let's see here. You have the solution here, you can see that.
Sir, this is for a star has work for the maximum number of different stars.
No. See, what is this pseudocode doing? You have so first you have a matrix, co-star matrix. You went to see the first row, then you went to see the columns of that row. Wherever the value is greater than 0, what does that value greater than 0 means? So I told you in the starting, wherever the co-star, what does that co-star ij was denoting? If you have something you were updating, right? Whenever there's a star 1 and star 2 is acting together, you were updating the value to 1. Again, you were updating if they have acted for some other movies, you were updating to 2, 3, 4, something like that you were doing, right? You were creating the matrix, that co-star matrix you were creating. And if that ij is greater than 0, that means what? That whoever is in the first row of the first row, that there is some actor, right? Okay, similarly, we have a column with 4 actor and the row with 4 actor. Okay, and that first row and first column, let's for example, the value when I was equals to 1 and j was equals to 1, that means the first row I equals to 1, and it can't be, because that part will be 0, right? If I equals to 1 and j equals to 1, because we are just talking about the same actor. If I is equals to different from I and j, I equals to 1 and j equals to 2, that means the first actor and the second, so 2 different actor. If the value is greater than 0, then you can say that you will go inside and then you update the value of count. That means this both actor has worked for the first time. And if you are getting again, then you can say that this the first actor, whoever was the sequence number. Okay, I guess you are not able to understand that.
Sir, can I little doubt, sir?
Yeah, go ahead.
Sir, if row 1, starting from row 1,
so let's
taking
see
it
here.
as a star, taking it
correct.
as a star.
You can see this
And,
screen, right?
Yes, sir. And
Okay.
column 1 is taking as a star and row is taking as co-star.
Correct.
If the value is 1 or it should be at least 1.
It should be
Maybe 1,
greater
2
than
or
yeah,
3.
yeah. Anything.
So if he has value is 1, then also it is counted, or else if it is value is 4, then also it is counted only for 1.
Correct.
So he has worked with different co-stars.
Yeah, this is what. Yeah, correct.
We are counting when he is working with different co-stars.
Correct.
And if that value is maximum, that is taken.
See,
The maximum co-star value, co-star value is taken at the last.
Correct. See, for the first row, wherever the row was 0, row value 0, you can see that in the first row, we started iterating. For the first row, we have been iterated for all the column. Okay, you are getting for 2 places, you are getting 1 for 1 places, the value is greater than 0. For the other cases also, the 4 and 1 both are greater than 0. So you got the count as 2. That 2 means what? Total number of co-stars that actor 0. So actor 0, there is some actor whose sequence number is 0. That actor 0 has acted with in this movie, right?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Correct. So in the
Yes.
first iteration,
Voice is breaking, sir.
is it clear now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So you can see that the first iteration, you can see the right side of your plot. You can see it here. So we started with the first row and then we have iterated for all the column. For the first row, itself is false because this value is 0, so it is false. So it didn't went inside. The second value, for this value, we got some value and this is true. So this value co-star I, because 4 is greater than 0, so it got true. We went inside, we have updated the value of count. Again, for this case, this value is greater than 0, so it came true. And again, we have updated the value of count as 2. That means this, and again, for the other case, this is 0, so that's why it didn't went inside and it didn't update the value of count.
So can you explain how for the fourth case it is false?
For the fourth case, because the value is 0, right? So co-star 0, 3.
Okay, sir, got it.
Is a 0. It is not less than, like, this is not greater than 0, right? If this is not greater than 0, that means it will tell you it is a false. If it is false, it will not go inside this. It will not update the value of count.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now you have a value 2. Similarly, you will calculate the value of for each of the row, right? Correct? As we have done for I equals to 0, it will do for all the other cases.
That is for all the stars.
All the stars, it will update for all the
different
stars.
stars.
Okay. So now it will update, and then what will do? What is the second step? Checking if the count obtained from each row is more than maximum or not. So maximum, it was starting the 0, right? So whatever is the count, it will store. The maximum will store that count. Correct? It will do the same, right? If it is counting the value, it is updating the value of count in each step. And then, so out of whatever it is, so if maximum in the starting, the maximum was 0, we have a variable maximum. We have initialized the value of maximum as 0. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So in the second step, what is doing? Checking if count obtained from each row is more than max or not. If this is more than max, then the max will get updated to count, and we will store that that actor that sequence number will store. I'll tell you how it is going. So see that Okay, from the starting we have started. See. So we have for the first I, we have calculated the value, we got the value of count. What was the value of count at that time? What was the value of count at that time?
Initially,
Can you hear me?
Sir,
Can you hear me? What was the value of count for the first row?
0.
Correct.
Sorry, sir.
Two.
2,
Two,
sir.
sir.
2, sir.
No, sorry. Count was in the starting it was 0. Later it got updated to 2.
2, sir. Yes.
Right?
Yes, sir.
Similarly, for the C, again, if the count was 2, for the second case, again it is 2.
Then it becomes 4.
No. How it can become 4?
it will not update, sir.
No, yeah, it will not update the value. So the
It will
second case
update in the
also,
row 3.
Because 2 is
Yeah.
not greater than 2.
yeah, 2 is not greater than 2, so it will not update. For the row equals to, here it will get update. Here the count is 3. Now,
Yes,
whenever
sir.
the count is greater than
It
maximum,
becomes
max
3.
got stored. Yeah, now it is 3, so it is more. So max will get stored to 3. And the popular will be what? 2.
Yes, sir.
Correct? You can see that.
Popular is the ith row of the maximum count.
Correct.
So that becomes 2, no, sir.
So I will become 2. And again, for the other case, as you can see that the count will be 1. So this is not greater than 3. So in the end, you'll be having what? The count will be equals to 3 and popular will be equals to 2. Got it?
Yes, sir.
So did you get the idea about this question or not?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Clear, sir.
Can we move to the next part? The other three
Yes, sir,
questions
we
are
can.
pretty simple. Yeah. So this is your problem where this is the fourth question and this is not that difficult. This is pretty simple. You have a list of stars and that is actor. So actor is some list that consists of list of stars. Okay. And so there's a procedure is click or not. A click is a procedure that returns true if every pair of the stars in this list has acted together in at least one movie. Let's, for example, there's a list of stars. There's an actor. Okay, there's some list and there's some n number of stars or maybe whatever you want to see, maybe 5 stars. And there is a procedure is click where it will take inside what actors and co-stars. For each eye in the actors, again for each eye in the actor, you have to fill this code so that it will return true if every pair of stars in this list has worked together in at least one movie. The options here are options here. These are the 3 options. I guess one option you can directly eliminate. You can get confused with the 2 vector, but the one option you can eliminate directly because this is returning true always. But you should be getting true when did you get the idea about that question?
Yes, sir.
No, sir.
Yes.
No, sir. Please explain.
Okay. So you have a list of stars, right? There's actors, so that consists of some list of stars, some different list of stars, and there is a procedure is click or not. Okay, and that click consists of that click. What is that procedure? Takes input. It takes the actors list where consists of different stars, right? And this co-star. And in this value for each eye, so you have started iteration for these actors. That is a list of stars. Now you need to put some code here so that you should be getting true if every pair of stars in that list has acted together in at least one movie.
Yeah.
See, you can get an idea from this question itself is procedure that returns true if every pair of stars in this list have acted together. And this is also returning true. So this case, whatever the pseudocode
And
is
sir,
there, it will
co-star is
return.
also a list. Hello.
Yeah.
So as in, here it is written, actors is a list of stars. So co-star is what? It is also a list or a matrix.
Okay, see, co-star you are having that matrix, right?
Okay, sir.
So these are all from the previous question itself. So this actor is a list of stars. Co-star is a, you can see this. One thing you can get an idea from this pseudocode is this pseudocode always return true. But for this procedure, it should be reading true when if each pair of the star in this list have acted together in any of the movie, at least single movie. So for sure, there it should be returning false for some cases. Because if it is returning true always, there's no way this pseudocode is correct. Are you getting an idea?
Great
So
hit.
this,
Yes.
yeah. So inside this, wherever you are writing this code, it should return false for sure. Okay, and the remaining cases it should return true because this now this pseudocode is always returning true. Did you get it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
No,
So which
sir.
are the conditions? Which of the two? So I already told you the first option itself is incorrect because if this is also returning
Yes,
true,
sir.
that means it will always return true. So out of the two, there should be one that is correct.
Second option.
Okay. So tell me which option is correct out of this two, the second and third.
Second option.
Second, sir.
Second option.
Because the value is given.
Why is that second correct?
So I should never be equal to J.
Not the same actors, they're different actors.
Yeah, correct. So yeah, so the whatever you're saying it's correct. So the second statement is correct. Yep, like the second statement should be
one should also be correct.
which one?
Sir, if they have worked in at least one movie, then it should be greater than 0.
See, then it will return true, right?
So that may be the error in the option itself because
No.
except-
See, whatever, if you are not doing anything also in the end, this procedure is returning true. See, from the pseudocode, what you have learned? From the pseudocode, you are getting this is returning true always, right? It should not be true always. It should be returning true when if each pair of stars is acting together in some at least one movie, right? So there should be some code where it should return false and the remaining cases should be true. So you have to just exclude those cases where it is false. Did you get the idea?
Yes.
Okay, so
Can you please brief the option number 2?
okay, so I'll just start explaining. So this is what I have told you. There should be, if this is returning true, then it should be having in the inner loop, we should be having something that should return false. Okay, so yeah, so you have a difference between second and third. What is the difference? That you can see what are the differences between the two and the third equation. So see, in the third, if you see that if co-star ij is equals to whenever there's like 0, then at that time it will return false. That means what? What does that mean?
They do not do any film together.
See,
So the
this
second one, it need not necessarily, like I could be equal to the next row is 2, column is 2.
Okay, so see, first focus on the third option. When this third option is getting executed, when it will return false and when it will return true. When it is returning false, when the co-star ij is equals to what? 0.
Yes, sir.
Right? And when it is 0, when they are not working at all, when they are not
Yes.
working, then it is returning false. The second
Otherwise,
option, what?
otherwise we means the last anyhow it is returning true. That means all other options are true. Wherever they are not work together, then it will be 0.
See, so this option, so the first option itself, you can see that what is that question. I'll explain you from the starting again. So you have been given a list. This is the list of stars. Okay, you have some stars, some different stars. S1, S2, something like that. Okay, and isClique is a procedure that returns true if every pair of stars. So let's, for example, every pair of the stars. So let's, for example, I have taken some 3 stars. And this list has acted together in at least one movie. Okay, and false otherwise. So whenever you have some bigger matrices,
Hello. Sir, are you there? Hello. I think sir is left the meeting.
yeah. So I just got disconnected. Hey, are you able to hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
What happened,
Yes.
sir?
Okay. So we were discussing that problem. Where is that? This one. Okay. Okay, we don't have much time. So, okay, we'll come again to this question. Let's first solve this problem. So these are some two problems, pretty simple. Again, I'll come to this question. Okay, so this is the fifth and sixth problem. Just go and read this. Just read it in the mind nicely, and then you have a problem. So just read it in two. I'm giving you 2 minutes. Just read it. We'll come again to the fourth question. We first solve this fifth and sixth. Just read it nicely. Then only on the basis of this statement, you have to build some graph. Okay, in the next slide.
In the next
slide. Did you read this? Shall we move to the next slide?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So tell me which of the following graph is the correct statement according to whatever you have read the earlier slide. How many of you were to understand this, the previous slide? Did you understood this?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then solve this one. It's pretty simple, right? Okay, can somebody briefly tell me what does this slide tell?
There is a computer scientist which can send invitation messages to other people, and he can send multiple messages, but the people who he sent, they can forward it at once only.
Okay.
And
can that guy who is the computer scientist can get any mail message?
What, sir?
Can he get that host can the host get any mail message? Can he accept any
No, sir.
message?
No,
He
sir.
can't
No, sir.
accept any invitation, right? He can only send, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Whoever he is sending to the invitation, he can if he is accepting, he can send to one more people, right? Correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now tell me which of the following is correct.
Can you just move to the previous slide once?
Okay, just read it thoroughly once more. Can we move to the next slide?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Tell me which of the following is correct. And write it in the responses. And then
A is correct, sir.
So,
A is
everyone
option A.
please solve this. Try to solve this. And also tell me which of the if B or A, maybe if A or A, C is incorrect, why is that incorrect?
A option is correct.
No, just write it in the. You have something to write, right? You can just type. Everybody, please try to solve this. Can you discuss this?
Yes,
or you
sir.
need more time? Okay, so I guess A is correct. Why is that A correct?
Sir, because option number B is incorrect. As 2 is accepting offers from 0. It cannot accept offers from, means it cannot give more than
How many of you have
multiple
thinks?
offers.
Okay, anybody of you thinks A is incorrect?
Yes, sir.
Why A is incorrect?
No, not B, sir. I'm talking about B.
Okay, why is B incorrect? Can you tell me why is B incorrect?
Because
What are the reasons?
if two cannot send, sir, more than one message.
No, if
No,
2 sends more than one message, then it cannot accept any one message.
If it is sending, then it cannot accept.
Okay, yeah. So it can send any number of messages. It can't accept any message. So in
Yes,
the
sir.
second case, you can see that B is accepting from Z, right? So that's
Yes,
why
sir.
the second option is incorrect. Why is C incorrect?
Because 5 is accepting 2 offers.
Yeah, 5 is accepting 2 offers. That should not be correct. Correct?
Yes, sir. So option A is correct.
Anybody is having any problem in this?
There was a condition that an invitee can accept multiple invitations and he can accept only one. So he can receive more than one invitation and he can accept only one. So in option C, if 5 is accepting, yes, sir, the third point.
Okay.
If a person receives multiple invitations, he or she can accept at most one of them.
He can't accept. Yeah, but he accept 5 is accepting 2, right? Invitation.
Yeah, so we are not getting there that which invitation is 5 accepting. That is why it's incorrect.
Okay. No. This arrow itself is telling that 5 has accepted 2 invitation from 4 and 0. That's why fifth option is incorrect. Okay.
Okay.
And I have given all the reasons are there. You can just go through the slide also. Okay. So all the reasons have been given. So why this A is correct? Why is this not correct? So this is the last problem for your day. And again, the same stuff. The only thing is this is if A is correct, which of the following are correct? Come out of this 4 what do you say the options. So it's a multiple select. You have to choose. I guess 2 are correct. Which of the 2 are correct? Just write it in the chat box. Not chat box. Response wherever you have to write.
So what is mean here? Identical message.
Identical is What does that identical mean? Same. So what was that thing? So 2 can send, so whenever 2 is sending invitation, it's a unique message they're sending, right? 2 is sending unique message to each everyone. So it would have sent 1, 3, 6. So unique message to 1, unique message to 3, and unique message to 6, right?
Yes, sir.
The 1 to 4.
1 and 3.
Just write it in the response. I want to see what is that multiple select some
1 and 3, sir.
Yeah, tell me will this.
Should we calculate, do it based on the arrows? Sir?
Yeah. See, should I discuss this?
Yes, sir.
Which one is the answer?
So we already know that 2 would be sending some different unique message to everyone. So 2 is sending some, for example, M1, it's a unique to 1, M2 to this 3, and M3 to this 6, right? And you already know that 1 can forward the same message to someone else. Correct? So 1 has forwarded the same message to M4, and 4 has, he also can send to 1 people, right? So it has sent to 5. Similarly, 3 didn't send to anyone, just accepted the invitation, didn't do anything. And again, the 6 has forwarded to 0. What you can see is 1, 4, and 5 has the identical message, the same message, because it has been came from 2. 3 has the identical, not 3 as like different from the first, 4th, and 5th. And 6 and 0 is the having the identical message, right? So from the option you can see is which of the following is correct. 1 and 4, you can see that M1 is the message that they have got, 1 and 4. 0 and 5, you can see that 0 and 5. So 0 has got M3 and 5 has got M1. So both they have the different messages, right? So that's why the first and 3 option is correct. Is it clear to everyone?
Yes, sir. Clear.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
It becomes easy after the taking M1, M2, and M3.
Correct. Okay. So let's come to the fourth question, right? Fourth was discussed, or do you want me to discuss again? This one.
Is this the last question? After this question class will end?
Yeah.
Okay, sir.
So can you share the slides, sir, or can you show all the slides?
Yeah, I'll just share this slide. So just take some 2-3 minutes. Just tell me which you already know. I'll ask you the reason. Just give me 2 minutes. So you have to fill in the blanks with the code, okay? And I already told you the second option won't be correct because the second that in the end you already know that in the pseudocode itself return true is there by default. So it should not be true. You should be searching for something that should return false. And what are the conditions that should return false? And the condition, what are the conditions should be returning? So you have to just remove those conditions where it should be returning false out of the true condition, right? And what are the false condition that, so you have a list of actor. Let's for example S1, S2, S3. Okay, 3 actors are there, and you have a co-star. In that co-star matrix, you should be having that S1, S2, S3 actor, right? And there will be some value whenever, let's for example, you are S1, S2, whenever there is an intersection of S1, S2, there will be some value. Similarly, for S1, S2, there will be value, and S1, S3, there will be some value, right, in the 4-star matrix, right?
Yes, sir.
So, which option should be not be, which of the two? See, in the third condition, what is this condition? Can somebody tell me what is this 3 tells? See,
that if the third condition is true, then if in the third condition, if I and j equals to 0, that means the actor is being referred to himself only.
yeah, but that should not happen, right?
Yes, sir.
So that's why we are excluding this third option. There should be something else. So I should not be equals to z. So that's why the second option is correct. See, this means what? This means the condition doesn't get executed. So we need to get a return only when two different actors have not acted together, right? Two different actors have not acted together, then it will return false. This is what we need, right? And it should return true when they have acted together.
Yes, sir.
Got it, right? See, and this will get executed always because in the principal diagonal element, it will be 0 always, right? So we'll be getting an incorrect false also somewhere. So for those all the cases where the I is equals to j, you'll be getting the incorrect false. Basically, you need to fill in the form. You have to take out the values where this is false, because true is the already default. So it is returning true already. So that's why you need to pick out those conditions where it is returning false. I need to see that for which condition it is giving you false. Whenever I so there is Salman and Saruk, so that is I is not equal to 0, the I is not equal to j, and in that case, if they didn't walk, so in that cases there will be 0, right? So it should return false, right? Correct? If this is like I some actor ka sequence number, Salman and J is Saruk, and if they haven't worked, then only the co-star in this co-star matrix, it will be 0. Correct? And if this is happening, then it should return false. This third statement is also correct, but here it should be taking for all the I is not equal to j. Then only this also statement will be correct. Did you get the idea of this fourth problem?
Yes, sir. Got it.
Okay. So this was this 5-6 problem. So did you get like all? Did you understood all the 6 questions?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So yeah, so this is it for the today's. Like, if you have any other doubts, you can just ask me, mail me, whatever you want to do. You can just put it on the discourse or mail me. Okay, whenever you have any doubt regarding this graph theory. Okay, so we'll meet
Sir,
again.
can you share the slides, sir?
Yeah, we'll share the slides.
Sir, and also do foundation level students have discourse?
What?
Sir, do foundation level students have discourse?
So you don't have. You are not able to put it in your discourse.
No, sir.
So see, TA. Okay, so session are going on TA session, and then extra session is also happening. If you have a
Yes, sir,
doubt,
all that is happening.
yeah, so you can ask your doubts there. If I told you, no, I already gave
Access to
the mail
discourse
ID
is
also
given
in some.
only after the IT gives us the email, and that is not being given yet. It will be given after the end terms. So after that only we can have access to discourse.
Sir.
Okay. So can we close this session now?
Sir,
Yeah.
sir, I'm actually having one more problem. Sir, when I wrote the qualifier this July, I was eligible for all the 4 courses, so I had enrolled. But now I'm finding it difficult to manage all the 4, sir. So is it possible if you can remove one of the course?
This is the first one. That you can just form the tech team. I guess I'm not that. So for this one, all query you can just confirm to the tech team, like not the tech team, the ops team. Okay, so but what I can do is like I can just forward your whatever the issue you have to the ops team. Okay, so you have what was the issue? You want to drop one course, huh?
Yes, sir, I have enrolled for 4 courses, but it is difficult to manage. So I would like to drop it.
Okay, I'll just maybe in the next session I'll confirm you about that. Okay, if somebody wants to drop, what can they do? Okay. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, then we'll meet again in the next session for that. Okay, bye. Good night, everyone.
Bye, sir.
Thank you, sir.